But the Tuscan has no fluting. And the Tuscan generally has in this one they really look too much alike. The Tuscan has very little on the top, but all of the rest of them have fluting. So, I mean, that's a good question. This is not an accurate depiction. This is just a depiction that I put on to show you the tops of the columns. But that's an important point. All of them have fluting except for the Tuscan column. You're going to see the Tuscan column used very, very rarely. I mean, you have to know what it is, but we really don't come across it very much. Partly because it's not a very decorative column. The X-base folding stool evolved to be the cuneiform in Roman times, and this is the Savonarola chair in the Renaissance. And we see that it goes all the way back to the X-base folding stool. These are grotesques. So these, you either identify this as grotesque. These are classical ornament or Renaissance ornament. They become neoclassical ornament in any period we're looking at. Okay? This is medieval period. This is Byzantine style. And these are pendenters, which are elements to help make the transition from the large round dome to the square base. This is another building you need to identify. It's the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. Yes? They're going to be these pictures. That's why I'm showing you this review. These are from the previous class. You should recognize every single one of these images. No, I showed two images of the Hagia Sophia, and this is one of them. I put this, that's the whole point of this review. This review, I'm not throwing more images on it. This review is images except for those columns. Those columns might, are an additional one, and they're for review. Every single thing here is something in one of the previous classes. I have sorted these out from the previous classes, put them into review images. From these, I'm going to be taking the images that I'm going to be putting on the exam. Yeah. These should be posted now. No, tomorrow morning they'll be posted. Yeah, call midterm review images is probably what they'll... No, you don't have to pull them out of the individual ones. There's a bunch of images called midterm review images. Again, this is the exterior, the interior of San Marco in Venice. Remember, Venice is the one European city that's influenced by Byzantine design because it was on the coast and they traded. They were the closest to the Byzantine Empire, to Constantinople. Two of the images of furniture that I showed you from the Byzantine world. Okay, throne of Dagobert, throne of Maximinius. These were Islamic style, not Byzantine, both of these. And these are just very famous buildings. So you're asked to identify, these are buildings you need to know by name. This medieval period, Romanesque style. This is the style with broad, flat arches and massive columns. Granted, these don't look as massive as many of the others. But the Chapel of Charlemagne, this one, massive, very beautiful. Both of these are Romanesque. Durham Cathedral, San Miniato al Monte. What? You're going to have, all of these are online. Okay, the Abbey of Saint Denis. Now, all of these also, you can go back and look at them in the weekly lectures, but I don't see why you bother to do that unless you want to have more general background. Pointed arch, rib vault, flying buttresses. The pointed arch and the rib vault are partly to make the roof higher so that the building reaches to God. Also, it makes windows larger so that the light or the light from that God creates can come in. And the flying buttresses support the exterior. Remember, that's pushing from the outside. And again, this is medieval period, this is the Gothic style. This particularly is French Gothic. Notre Dame de Paris, not just Notre Dame. And we see these buildings, I told you about how they were made by trial and error, by builders, not by architects. Other than Notre Dame, it's most important for you to know French Gothic from English Gothic. Notre Dame and, Sainte-Chapelle are the two that I would expect you to recognize. The others, I would expect you to know. You don't have to know that this is Rheims. It's nice if you do. You do have to know that it represents French Gothic. This is Sainte-Chapelle, and it's very recognizable because of the almost wall-to-wall glass and the ceiling, which duplicates the image of the sky with stars. Okay, I put this on for the review to remind you, this is the barrel vault here. Here's the barrel. This has too many captions. But here's the barrel vault, just looking like half a barrel. Here's the groin vault, which is the barrel vault is cut in half and put perpendicular to each other, so you have 4 sections. And then the rib vault, and don't worry about all of the extra captions. I just couldn't find one without the captions. The rib vault has ribs like an umbrella. When you're looking at a rib vault, and I won't be showing you this, you see the projections of the rib. This is Greek temple form. This is a basilica plan. Yep. Yeah, the groin vault gave you a larger space. The rib vault, because of the ribs, the rib were the support, like the groin was 2 barrels. The ribs, once you devise the ribs, like an umbrella, because that's easy to visualize, the ribs are the support structure. You can put everything between the ribs rather thin. Not thin, but the brickwork between could be much lighter weight because the ribs were the support. With the barrel vault, with the groin vault, the vault sections were still supported. So the rib vault can be higher. And here, this is English Gothic, and what we see is a much simpler structure. Chapel of Henry VII in Westminster Abbey. And what I want you to do is just recognize this. You do see fan vaulting, which is the vaulting that looks sort of like spider web. And we see that in English Gothic. Not always, but very often. Here's a better view of fan vaulting, so you know what it is. This is very fuzzy, but this is Penshurst Place, the Great Hall. Remember the dirt floor, the fireplace here, the wood going up a little way, the very, very deep plaster walls, very thick walls. This is the minstrel gallery up here. We can't really see it, but we have the timbered ceiling that we've seen in English. This is secular style, remember, not for the churches. So this is not Gothic, this is medieval. And these, I'm showing you a comparison of medieval hall. This is another one versus the Renaissance hall. This one on the right is Hatfield House. And what we see is the same kind of structure. Really like this one. The same general form. You see the thick walls, you see the minstrel gallery. Here, you see the walls now covered in wood paneling and covered in tapestries. We still see the minstrel gallery. We see the dirt floor replaced by a marble floor. So it's the same fancier, more evolved in a later, more decorative period with plan design. Sorry? No, I said medieval was not secular, Renaissance is secular. Oh, I'm sorry, no, these are secular medieval, yes. Medieval as a period was primarily ecclesiastical style. But after we finish with churches, I'm showing you some secular building. Yeah, good question, I need to clarify that. It's not that there wasn't any non-ecclesiastical design in the medieval time, but it was primarily a period of ecclesiastical design. The most important design was for the church. Just as when we go to the Renaissance, it's not that there wasn't Renaissance design for the church, but the most important design was for the secular world.
Is Romanesque Renaissance or what was it?
Romanesque is its own style. Romanesque is medieval. It's before Gothic.
Okay, so Romanesque and medieval, they can be used interchangeably, or they?
No, Romanesque is another style. Medieval is a period.
Okay, medieval period.
There is